Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Fight Report.
Fight Report MMA.
Yes, the greatest show in the history of fight news, report fighting, and reporting of news and reporting about news about fighting. My name is Brian McGuire. This is my co-host and co-show host, my brother, Emmett McGuire. Emmett, how are you doing today?
Brian McGuire, I'm feeling great. So happy to be back. Look at the smile on my face. And we're here with a new co-host, the masked man himself, Mars, Utah. How you feeling?
Oh, fantastic, gentlemen. You know how I do it. Just excited to be a part of the Fight Report MMA. You know, you can see this big smile I have on my face, too.
That's right. We're all smiling ear to ear as it has been a 4-year hiatus, and we are back. So it's been a while, but we are back and we are ready. We are here to cover the Thompson versus Geoff fight. We'll start at the top with the main event, Stephen Thompson versus Geoff NEAL. Who you got?
Let's see. I'll go. I'm going to go with Stephen Thompson. It's pretty much flip of the coin here, I'm going to assume, since it looks like both guys have not dusted it off since the pre-COVID days. So it looks like it's going to be a rust fest in there, and we're just going to go with Thompson.
I want to see a finish, a decisive win in a fight. Thompson rarely makes that happen. I'm going Geoff NEAL.
I'm going with a draw. Who gives a shite about this fight? These guys are bums. They're just has-beens. They haven't fought in a year. Ring rust upon ring rust. It's just going to be a boring main event.
Yes, that would be quite fitting for this pretty lackluster and anticlimactic event between Wonder Boy and Geoff NEAL.
Which is a great name to say. I'm feeling the name say. Next fight up on the main event stage is the co-main event. It is Jose Aldo versus Marlon Vieira. Who you got?
I'm going Marlon Vieira. He's a fireball. He busted up Sean O'Malley in a controversial fight last time, but still came out with the dub. And he's going to continue on this streak past Jose. Jose's done.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and go with Marlon Vieira over Jose Aldo. It's, Jose has been on a 3-fight losing streak, not looking real good. And, as Emmett said, Marlon Vieira was looking good last time. Took out Sugar Shane. I think he may have been so high that he sprained his own ankle, but it still counts as a W, so we're going to go with him.
I'm going to go opposite of you boys. I think Aldo's on the ropes. 3-fight losing streak. He's going to come back. This has to be his. He has to fight. He has to make it. And I think Marlon Vieira is going to be on his high horse thinking that he beat the great Sean O'Malley. But one thing I do have to say about Vieira, he is an angry man. I would not want to have Thanksgiving dinner with him. Well, let's move to the next fight. And now we are down to the football player versus some farm boy. Markelin Tybura versus the Greg Hardy.
I think this is going to turn into more of a sumo match, and in that aspect, I'll give it to Marcian Tybura.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see this turning into a clinch fest against the cage. Some heavy breathing as well as some heavy petting, probably fairly uneventful. Guessing with Dana White's matchmaking, though, I'm going to go with Greg Hardy because they usually try to avoid matching him with anyone that can beat him.
I'm going to go with the Hardy as well. I think that if you're beating up women, you're probably angry enough to beat up a farm boy. So I'm going that route. So much has changed in the last 4 years in the fight game, Em. What are some of the biggest differences that you're seeing now? What are some of the things that you're excited about covering in today's MMA?
In this time of COVID, I mean, it's insane. The UFC was the first sports league back. Dana White announced it long before they were back, and he knew they'd be first. That's amazing. Fight Island's amazing. I would like to go to Abu Dhabi and check out an event. And now we've got the Apex built in Vegas, and it seems like the UFC is just rocking on.
Fight Island. I'd love to go there because I've never been to an island that's not actually an island before. It's pretty cool. I don't know how they pulled that off over there, but it's amazing. For those people that are scared of water, it's the best way to go to an island. And, having the fights with no crowds, but I'm pretty sure there's some sheiks in the back that are paying top dollar to watch those fights, but you didn't hear that from me. had to move the announcers back because Joe Rogan was helping everybody win. Yeah, it's been interesting.
The best part about the way that the fights go right now is that you can hear every punch, every kick, and every little conversation that the fighters have with each other. That makes it exciting. We have a special guest coming into the Fight Report studio today. Is that not right, boys?
Yes, yeah, we have the legendary Sam Hoger. He is from the UFC, or the Ultimate Fighter 1. You know, fought 5 career bouts in the UFC, even fought the legendary Lyoto Machida, Rashad Evans, Stephan Bonner, just a who's who. You know, very, very happy to have him coming in.
Yeah, hell yeah. Sam, nice to meet you. I'm Brian, or as some people know me as Left House. But it's a pleasure
Left
to talk
House,
to you.
how you doing?
Very well, man. Very well. Pleasure to talk to you.
Pleasure's
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah, so Left House was a magician that did all the crazy editing and everything in that the video that I sent you.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I saw that, man. You're becoming a rapper, huh?
Yeah, going back to it, yeah.
I like it. I like it. I just got done dropping a song. I'm working on a couple projects of my own.
Wicked.
Yeah, you said. Yeah, if
Get
you want to
this.
drop the audio to us, we can throw it in here.
Yeah, we'll play
If
one
you
of your
go on
tracks.
your Google, like if you have one of those Google speakers, like look, I got one right over here. You know, like the Dot or the Assistant. Let me see if it works. Hey Google, play "Señorita" by Diesel Walker.
Diesel Walker, I like it.
Reader by SEJOHFROGI. Short. Playing on YouTube Music.
Check it out.
Can't really hear it too much.
Oh man, I gotta send you the audio.
Yeah, send us
Because
some-
you know what they say in the song? Gotta get your groove in, señorita moving. Gotta get your groove in, señorita moving. Vaya amor, 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 amor. Gotta get your amor, amor, amor. Hey Google, enough with you.
That's badass. So you live out in
Google,
LA.
Enough.
You're living out in LA?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
very
out in
cool.
LA, and man, I love it. But no, right now, like right now, I'm not talking to you from Los Angeles. I'm talking to you from Alaska.
Right on. Yeah. And were you born in Alaska?
No. I'm from the real LA. I was born in Louisiana.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, wicked. Wow, shit.
Yeah, you're all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, military. My father was a major in the Army.
Oh, very cool. Okay. And so you're pursuing some acting, is that right?
Well, initially when I moved to LA, it was to do acting, but funny enough, I ended up in music. You know?
Yeah. No, that's
But-
so funny. That's like my same path too. I came out to LA to be an actor and then like became like a techno DJ for about 10 years, but found myself back making movies, acting and writing and directing as well.
Oh my
Okay.
God, that's awesome. You're actually in the driver's seat making it happen.
Yeah. I did a bunch of indie films as an actor, and I just went to all these film festivals and shit, and I realized like, man, the only person they care about is the director. So I was like, if I'm gonna like sustain a career making indie films, I probably should do that. So, I jumped into that seat, and I love them both the same. They're both just as like fun, but it's kind of fun to have more control, like over it all, versus like you're at the mercy of everybody else as an actor. I feel like.
You know, and I felt that way. I think that's a lot of the reason I think I also ended up in music, because like in acting, I realized like you have to, like in music, you can put out your own products and you can, build and tell the stories and like, try to change the world from your perspective in reference to your experiences. Whereas in acting, you got to get chosen by somebody,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, I mean,
true.
it really limits the control. But I mean, a lot of the time, like, sitting in that director seat and making your own movies. I mean, that definitely, that's the way to really take power. Did you go to acting school? Did you go to theater?
I grew up, I was born in Chicago, but I grew up in Austin, Texas. And so I started
wow.
like taking private acting classes there, but I never took never went to like school. I just like jumped from like, classes and then just started doing like student films. And then that just turned into one after another. And it's like, 25 years.
I feel like
years
we were on
later.
the exact same path. Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
did you ever take classes with this guy named Will Wallace?
Will Wallace. No, in Texas?
In
Or out
Austin,
here?
yeah. Because remember, I
Yeah.
used to live in Houston
Yeah.
for a long time.
Okay, yeah,
And
no.
I would drive out to Austin to take classes with Will Wallace's School of Acting.
Fucking A,
And,
no, I don't
I had a
this
good
one.
time over there. I mean, it was a lot of fun, and like he's a great teacher. And he had this lady over there that used to teach. Gallagher was her name, Jamie Gallagher.
Jamie Gallagher.
Amazing teacher. She's this little blonde actress that like, she's really, really good at like managing a group and like teaching us like, technique and.
Yeah.
But initially, like when I started acting, I started as a Stanislavski actor. Like
Oh,
I was
sick.
studying like the Stanislavski method over in Houston with a group called the Next Actor Studio.
Right on.
And Trisha Ray was like the person who was heading that up. She was an amazing teacher, but man, super method, like crazy method teacher.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah.
And then, but I mean, I found that to be a great transition after fighting. Like, I think all fighters, because like fighters, a lot of the time they end up like, what am I going to do after I'm done fighting? Like, and I've had this conversation with many of them. Like, they're like, Sam, I feel so lost. I don't know what I'm going to do after fighting. And like, some of them go so far as like killing themselves, because they feel so lost and they're so empty because fighting is such a vibrant and full existence, because every time you go into that cage, that could be the end of your life. Because, I have to explain this to people. And people don't understand this when they say they want to be fighters. I'm like, listen, you can play baseball, you can play basketball, you can play cards, you can play soccer, football, whatever. There's no such thing as play fight.
Right.
You don't play fight. Like there's no play to that, So
Yeah.
it's like, and when you go into that cage, you have to understand, you're going in there to finish the other guy. And the only thing that stops you is the referee. And if the ref doesn't stop you, it's already happened. People have died doing this sport. This is not, and it's not, that's what I try to tell them. Even when I say the word sport, I feel like I'm like doing it a disservice, because this is not a sport. This is this is fighting,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
agree
got to be
with
your
that.
life.
And the thing is, it's like, it's the most raw, the most real, the most like defined thing that somebody can do in reference to like competition. Like what were barbarians doing back in the day when they were, or cavemen doing back in the day when they were settling disputes or fighting over land? They weren't doing, until they figured out how to like throw rocks and like, make weapons. For the most part, it's the rawest form of competition. That's why it registers to everybody.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. It's so funny when I first got into it. It's like I'm like one of the least likely people to become like a UFC fan or whatnot. But my younger brother was way into it when he moved out to California. He kept showing me like knockouts and stuff. I'm like, don't show me that shit. I don't want to see that. Show me one more. Just show me one more. And then all of a sudden, I was like into it. But like I'm a big chess player too. Like I play a lot of speed chess. And then all of a sudden,
I play chess.
Oh fuck, we gotta play,
dude. Chess.com.
Yeah, I'm on there. Yes, I'm on there.
Dude, Sam E. Hoger. SAM.
I'll find you.
EHOGER.
I'm
Just like
looking
when I
forward
said
to
when I
it.
used to fight. The HOG sends his opponents to the ER.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah,
so it's not Hogar. HOGAR. HOG.
ER. There you
Look
go.
me up, Sam E. Hoger on chess.com.
I will. Yeah,
We got a match
we're
coming
playing.
up. As a matter of fact, I want you to post the match.
Oh yeah, okay, we'll do it. I'm
gonna hit you with a Queen's Gambit.
Let's go. This will be great. Yeah, but
It's
like,
pretty
so I saw a
perfect, too.
correlation there for me. Like that's when it was like, yeah, I started watching and really getting into it. I was like, this is human chess. Like this is insane. Like one move makes another move, makes another move, and I was just like, I was completely hooked at that point. And like me being me. Like once I become obsessed with something, I have to turn it into a project. So I started creating this thing called the Fight Report MMA, which is sort of like almost like a acid fans version. If you're into acid in the UFC, you'd like my show. But like the majority of the UFC fans are like, get the fuck out of here. What are you doing? You're insane. So, which I love that. I love that. That feeds me, it's been fun. But yeah, we've done it. We took like a few years off to make other projects and shit. But Mr. Mars over here is like gotten us the resurgent is back. So we're gonna start doing it like before pay-per-views, like once a month or something like that. So you're our first guest back. So appreciate it.
Man, I think it's a great idea. Before every single pay-per-view, I think you should do it. And you know what else I think you should do if you really want to make it interesting? Say who you think's gonna win and how they're gonna win.
Oh yeah,
you know, like,
yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, if you actually say that and you put that out into the ether,
yeah,
everybody's got an opinion, and not everybody's going to be on your boat. Like, who in the world thought, like El Cucuy, was going to go down to some jiu-jitsu guy, Oliveira from Houston?
Never in a
You
million
know, by the
years.
way, do you know who he trains with?
Who? Oliveira or?
Oliveira trains with the gold team, who's under Macaco. Macaco's a legend in mixed martial arts. If you want to go see remember the soccer player named Pele?
Yeah.
Well, Macaco had a fight against a guy from Shoot Box Academy, where Vanderlei Silva and Anderson Silva are from, named Pele, not the soccer player.
Yeah.
Look up Macaco versus Pele. They had wars.
Yeah, no, I
yeah.
watched that. I watched all the old Pele fights.
Dude, that's some sugar on the ice cream right there. That's the fine stuff.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I was watching, what was it, Brazil, Rio Heroes. Remember that crazy shit where they're like against the wall?
Man, isn't that some good stuff? Like, man, like I wish right now I was 18 or 19 so I could be fighting against these killers. Because that's, like, if you remember my fight career, that's all I liked fighting were guys who were killers.
Yeah.
Forrest Griffin,
Yeah.
Bonner, Machida,
Yeah.
Rashad,
Yeah.
Jeff Newton, Bobby Southwood. Like, all these guys were
Incredible.
killers. Like,
Yeah.
if you're not like a bad dude, I can't get out of bed to fight you. Like, I'm like, nah. I'd rather go play Texas Hold'em, you know?
Yeah. So if you were
That's
18,
the other thing left out. Sam used to play, or I don't know if he still does, but has done some professional poker playing as well.
Oh,
so
shit.
we're having a poker tournament during our event that this is going to be in.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Well, sign me up, man. I wouldn't mind making some of that Corona money right now, baby.
Yeah, yeah. It's for stuff inside the video game, unfortunately, not real dough, but
Yeah, in-game.
Oh my
currency.
goodness,
Yeah.
dude! I'm telling you, like, poker is like one of the few games where, like, once you really understand the mechanics of it, I have never played. Okay, I can say this much: I have never played a game where I sit down at a table at 6 p.m. and don't leave until 6 p.m. the next day. I've never done that other than with poker. So I absolutely do not recommend you. If you don't have, like, you got to have incredible self-control to not sit there for hours. I never thought there would ever be a game.
The first time I played craps was 11 at night till 9 in the morning. You know, like,
Wow.
I stayed, and my ankles were sore when I walked away from the table. And it was one of those scenarios where I didn't have any money, and I was with my boss at the time, and he threw me 100, I lost it, threw me another 100, I lost it, and he threw me 100. He was like, "Look, I know you need help with your rent, so this is the last 100 I can give you," you know? So I stayed at that table. I stayed at that table till the morning, paid him back, paid my rent, and paid this like giant phone bill, and like had still like $200 left afterwards. It was like the best night of my life. So fun.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hopefully you tie 10% of that so it could happen again.
Oh yeah,
God,
no, I
that's
went on a
awesome.
streak. I went like for the first like 6 years of me going to Vegas, I never lost. And then I did drugs in Vegas, and then that just fucked it all up. You know, it just changed.
Oh man, well, hey, remember
Vegas will
the
get
Hoger philosophy.
Yeah.
Number one, life is short.
Yes.
You lived it. Remember, there's too many people out there that think that they're living by this set of rules that are put upon them by society, that are not allowing themselves to really embrace everything in life. And instead, what they're doing is that, they're navigating this existence where they're not living. That sounds to me like you really got to live.
Yeah, I've done a shit ton of living in my life for sure. You know, I nonstop, completely. Yeah, I'm a man of many trades. I've lived in a lot of different places as well, and it was because of acting like that. When I found that, I was 18, and it was like that's when I started like really caring about life and like wanting to learn everything that there was that I could, you know, because everything got interesting because I finally had like a place to put everything then, you know? So
Yeah, it's so crazy because I see so many people stuck in cubicles working these jobs they hate. Like
yeah.
I met this guy, get this, I was in Houston over at this club that I was, I think I was a friend of mine, like was a student. No, I think it was a friend of mine who owned it. And I went over there. He used to work with like the basketball team over there in Houston. What is the name of it? The Rockets. And
Rockets, yeah.
I remember like he had a club that he owned that was right next to this gym that I used to work out at for a little while named Fit Athletic. It's over there right off of like Montrose and like West Gray in like the Houston area.
Yeah.
Kind of like not far from like River Oaks. Which is like, you know, the fancy part of Houston. But anyway, so I remember going to this club and I was hanging out there with this guy. Like, do you remember when oil was big? Like oil was like the thing, like you could work in the oil industry, you were set.
For sure, yeah.
Like gas prices were like $5 a gallon in Santa Monica.
Oh yeah, I remember. I know exactly what time you were talking about. Yeah.
So he worked in the industry and I was back in Houston hanging out at that club, and he had come to my school and like trained a little bit, and like he pulled me to the side and he said, Sam, I'm telling you this right now. I hate my life. I hate my job. I hate what I do. I go to work every single day. I'm making $100,000 a year right now, and I cannot stand living like this. And I told him, then quit your job. And he's like, it was the golden handcuff situation, you know.
Yeah.
You get used to making a certain amount of money, then all of a sudden, like, now you got to turn around and figure out another way to make that money. Those golden handcuffs, though. But the problem with it is, like, he described to me this concept that I came up with called cubicle death. It's like you're stuck in a cubicle, which might as well be a coffin, because you're not enjoying your life. And it's like, dude, you have such a short. You realize. This is part of the Hoger philosophy. Listen, you want me to tell you how many days you have before you're going to die?
You got the crystal ball?
Sort of. So the total number of days a human lives, the average number is 27,375 days. Some live less, some live more, but the average is 27,375. So however old you are, you take that number and then multiply it times 365 and then subtract it from 27,375. Now, that's how many 24-hour sessions you have left before you're out of the.
I've done a really good job too, so I got to subtract some extra, I think.
So, but am I making sense?
I'm just being a wise ass.
I know, but am I making sense?
Yeah, I gotcha. You're left out muted.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I hit the mute button. Yeah. No, 100%. You're making.
So now
sense.
get this. You want to hear the rest of it though?
Sure.
All right.
I'm at this crux myself right now, so I'm about to pull a ripcord on cubicle life.
Good. Yeah.
Oh man, dude, you need to come up. Well, as soon as this Corona passes, you guys need to come visit me in LA.
Yeah. Well, I'm in LA, so we'll have to definitely.
We gotta. Hey, by the way, Mr. LA, I'm starting a show here soon where people can work out with me not every single day, but I'm going to be posting workouts a few times a week in order for people to be able to start working out with the Alaskan Assassin, Diesel Walker, Sam Hoger, Guy.
Well, if you want to make it a comedy, I'll come work out with you. If it's supposed to be a comedy.
No. It's a serious.
No,
it's
I know. I'm kidding.
It's serious.
Sam, I was telling him you said that Masvidal came out with the workout thing.
Oh yeah.
No, he did. He started an online workout program. So did there's a bunch of other guys that have been doing it that are doing it now.
And I just think it's funny that Masvidal did it because he's such a gangster.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect it.
Yeah, I mean he's a tough guy. You know, I met him in Virginia before he blew up and became like the superstar that he was. Yeah. And I remember like Joe Silva had come out there because I think we were in Virginia or West Virginia. We had a seminar we were doing that weekend for there was some cause we were all kind of like meeting up for. I remember Braulio Estima was like the head guy that was giving like the big part of the seminar. Really good jiu-jitsu guy, and even Ryan Hall, the guy that tapped out BJ Penn.
Yeah, I love
He was
Ryan
there
Hall.
at that seminar too. You know, a bunch of like super studs were there.
Yeah.
And I remember like when Masvidal was there, he told me like he's Cuban by descent.
Yeah.
Así que empezamos a hablar español. So we started talking Spanish. And like we started shooting it back and forth, and I was like, "Oh my God!" So I started like every time he was in there mixing it up, I was like, "Cubano, let's get it!" I was trying to get like Joe Silva to look at him because like I wanted to like, just give him a lot of props because I liked him. His attitude, like he really registered with me when we met. He's a wonderful guy, you know.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it seems like he seems legit. He seems dope. You know what I mean? Like he speaks from like a real place. It seems like I believe him when he speaks. You know, like he's not fucking around. You brought up August Hall. I don't know if you guys caught the first fight of last night. The Chase Hooper. But no, his what are they, M&R rolls or whatever? They're like he trained with August Hall to like learn that stuff. Man, it's so beautiful. And that my nephew trains jujitsu, and it's like he loves that move. It's so exciting to watch like a little 11-year-old pull shit like that off. It's so fun.
Be careful, man. You better buy him the toys he wants.
Yeah, I know. He's
gonna hold you hostage.
No, he's a big dude. He's already a husky kid too. Yeah, it's good. He loves it.
I couldn't believe he went for that twice last night.
Yeah, and it worked.
I know.
It worked, yeah.
Usually you just get punched in the face when you go for leg locks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those can be punishing unless you're Oleg Taktarov.
Yeah. Or August Hall,
I'll
man.
go for a second and grab my props. I'll be right back.
Yeah, do your thing. Yeah, man, that's so cool. So you're not messing with the acting shit anymore, or you?
No, I still do acting because
cool.
I mean that's why I moved out to Los Angeles.
Yeah,
and I still practice a little bit, and I still my agent gets me a lot of auditions. Randall Edwards from Catalyst Talent. He gets me. I mean, I still do auditions. I still do the acting work, and like I still work on it a little bit. But like my main focus now is, I think that's where God has me going. I think He's got me like focusing on the music. So now Diesel Walker.
I dig it. So
it's so funny when I say it until I go on stage, and then I'm serious. Like you get in that mode, it takes you.
100%, yeah. So you had said something about like if you were 18 and fight. Like I want to ask, if you were 18 now, like if you were fighting now, who would you want to fight? Like out of like the new people that you didn't get a chance to or whatnot, who out there?
Oh my God, my attitude was always I wanted to fight the baddest and the best.
Yeah.
That's why the guys that I fought were always like, if they either had UFC gold or fought for UFC gold.
Yeah.
I like if I don't feel like at risk when I go in there, if I don't get the thrill of having to fight someone who's a real like established badass, then it doesn't do anything for me. Like I remember when early in my career I would get these fights when I was fighting underground back when John McCain made it illegal, and I was over there in college and I was fighting at these underground events.
Yeah.
And I was fighting a lot of guys who were just like casual martial artists or local tough guys, and I was smashing them.
Yeah.
And like the thing is like when you do that, you don't feel good about yourself. Like that's the thing. Real fighters don't feel good about beating up like tough guys or civilians. Yeah. Like real fighters feel good when you go through a war.
100%.
And like whether you win or lose, like knowing that you went out there and like for that, like those 15 to 25 minutes, you were really alive in there clashing back and forth, like having a like war of wills. That's when like there's a saying in fighting, which I find is very true. They say, you don't know if you're a real fighter until you finally get hit in the face. Yeah. Because when you get hit in the face, there's one of two reactions. If you're like, no, okay, that hurt, stop. Then that means you're a normal human being. That means you're a sensible human being. That means you're normal. But if you get hit in the face like I was, and I was like, oh my God. And you're like, you get fired up, then you have the mindset to really kind of go in that direction,
You smile throughout the entire fight. When you're fighting Machida, you didn't drop you're like, you just got, like, you look so happy.
Well, no, it's two reasons. Number one, because, like I am happy. I'm in there and I'm like doing what I love, which is like, scrapping,
Yeah.
And the other one is because, watch, frown right now, frown. Now touch the meat on your face. Touch it. It's
soft. Yeah.
That cuts. Now, bite down and smile hard.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what's going on.
In your face.
Yeah.
So when you get hit, it's flexed so it doesn't cut as much, you know? Whereas when it's soft, touch it when it's soft. Touch it.
Yeah,
Touch
yeah,
your face
yeah.
now that it's soft. Touch it.
Yeah.
Touch
Explaining
it.
the smiling Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see
yeah.
how that soft meat will cut really easily.
Right. Okay. So there's a
So
method
there's
to
a
that.
little Hoger trick for you right there.
Very
you know?
cool.
There's
That's
some
what-
there. Don't ever say I didn't teach you guys anything. If you get into a fight, bite down and smile hard.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
They
yes.
just might run away too. You never know.
Yeah. No,
What's
it's
the other thing I
scary
noticed
looking.
about smiling when you're fighting?
Yeah, it's gnarly.
I called Rashad Evans up after we had our fight, and like
Yeah.
we were talking a little bit, going back and forth, and he's like, "Why were you smiling the whole time you were fighting? I wanted to knock that smile off your face." And I was like, I didn't explain to him the whole reason why, because we were both competitors back. I mean, we're buddies.
Yeah.
And like I say, one of my biggest regrets was not building a better friendship with that guy. That guy's such a good dude. I
Yeah.
really like him,
Yeah.
such a good dude, man. Oh, I wish they would have pushed him to be more of like a superstar, because he would have been like a great, flagship face for the company. The guy is just amazing guy.
Yeah.
But Matt Hughes threw him under the bus, being an idiot like Matt Hughes usually was anyways. I mean, he's a teammate of mine, so I can say that. But, I mean, the guy's a moron. I mean, he really oh, my God. I wish he would have never done that to Rashad, because Rashad's such a great guy,
Yeah.
But, after we fought, everything was, soured after that friendship, and, we never got to build that up. There was one time I was in Florida, I think, and I gave him a call, but, he was he was busy doing whatever he was doing. But man, if I ever recommend anybody, if I ever recommend not to fight anybody, and if there's ever a guy that I would say personality wise, man, you can really fight, that is a good dude.
I mean, you said this has been amazing. You're a fucking phenomenal, fun dude to talk to. This is great. I'd love to continue. We'll have to have Sam Hoger segments in the future if you're down to come back on.
Yeah, man, I'd love to. If you guys want commentary on fights, if you want me to tell you who I think's gonna win.
Yeah.
If you want me to tell you, yeah. I mean, I'm always happy. I'm always happy to
You're high energy and fun, man.
Definitely share anything on most topics. I'm definitely.
Well, you gotta send
Definitely
your
down.
song. You gotta send your song to Mars, because we'll play it in the segment or whatnot. We'll drop it in if you're down with that.
Yeah, for sure. I'll send
We
you
can
guys. I'll shoot you guys
outro with
the
the
link.
actual recording or something if you want.
Yeah.
Man. We could do a lip sync, on. Do you remember on MTV when they used to have the lip sync battles with
Oh yeah, totally.
and then the DJ would speed it up and then slow it down. And
Oh yeah, I love that show. I can't remember the name of it was, but yeah, I watched those shit out of it. Kid.
Well, I was telling Left House, that's when we met at that seminar here, but then we ended up out doing karaoke like fucking morons, and that's pretty much how we hit it off, freestyling on the sidewalk and doing karaoke.
oh my God, dude, karaoke is you want to find out what you're meant to do in life. Karaoke is one way you'll find out if you're made to be on stage or not.
Oh yeah, I'm a dyslexic fool, and I made the mistake of trying to sing "I Like Big Butts" and I Cannot Lie. I only know the first two lines of that song, and then it's just fast. I just threw the mic and just started dancing all crazy. You know what I mean? There's nothing I could do. But
Oh my God, that's
every
my
word.
go-to song right there.
Actually, Mars told me a story about that. Actually,
What do you say? Let me hear it. Remind me.
Oh, that
Hopefully
was
it's not
that
a train
night.
wreck.
We were on Caroline Street, and we were all hanging out. I think Zach and the rest of the BJJ crew were out, and we were at the karaoke. And the next thing you know, I see you headed over. There's a table of four, probably 40-ish, well put together black ladies, probably out a little late after work on a Friday. You're over there working your magic. They're laughing. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? I think I either went to the bar or went to the bathroom, and then I come out, and I Like Big Butts is on. You have the four ladies on stage as your backup dancers.
Doing
I'm
this?
pretty sure you're on your knees doing the song. And that's when I
That
knew I
is my
liked you,
go-to song right there, man.
That's
Oh
amazing.
my gosh, that is the one that I love. And that's one of the things that I noticed about music is I love getting on stage and performing and getting people going crazy. Whereas most, like, I think, what do they say? Like 97% of people hate, they would rather die than do public speaking. Like, I love the stage. Like, I'm really, I don't know, like, I feel really like in my element when I'm on there.
Yeah, really cool. Yeah, I feel that.
I figure I'm not getting punched in the face. I mean, I'm already used to getting beat up on pay-per-view in front of everybody in the world.
Yeah.
Singing and like breaking it down can't be much worse than that.
No, it's true. It's true. So you guys, I'm getting like the 10-minute warning here on the recording on the Zoom. So let's, if there's any questions or any things that you want to bring up with the Mars, we can, you know, like I still have a couple of questions about fighting that I'm interested in.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and go for it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, foot stomps, do they hurt?
In the fight, you don't feel them, but afterwards, I mean, if they catch you like on, like right on the end of your toe, you're gonna feel it when you walk.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And Tim Sylvia, he cornered you. Or he was your teammate. Yeah.
Multiple times. We were both part of the Militich Fighting Systems, the #1 fight team in the history of the UFC. We had the most belts locked up ever. We had Jens Pulver at lightweight, Pat Militich and Matt Hughes at 170. We had Rich Franklin at 185. Well, he came and trained with us, but I mean, I don't know. Well, he was, yeah, I mean, we treated him like family.
Yeah.
We did get the 205, then we had Tim Sylvia at heavyweight. So out of the 5 belts, we had 4 of them.
Insane. So did you guys
we dominated for so long, and then Robbie Lawler came back and took down the 170 belt later.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's like, he was a younger guy, you know, but he's still in there. I mean, yeah, I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And Tim, you know, Tim had a great career. He was one of the most dominant heavyweights in UFC history. I wish we could have seen him like go further.
And what did he like? Did you guys? What was it like? What's a celebration like after a fight night? You guys go out like what happens at the celebration? Was it crazy, rowdy back then?
For some people it is. For some it isn't. It just depends how you want to do it. Me, usually I had a girlfriend, and like after my fight, I would just go back. You know, I'd go kind of like I'd hang out with the guys for like maybe half hour to an hour. But then after that, I would go find I'd just go back with my girlfriend and go hang out like with her because like. You spend so much time like getting ready for a fight. You don't have like, a lot of like, a lot of, so you want to spend more, you want to, now that you're done fighting, I would like, my mother would be there. I'd spend time with my mom. I'd spend time with my girlfriend. Like, like I said, I do like an hour or 2 of hanging out with the guys and like cheesing out at the club and like making little appearances and doing your little pictures. And some people love that. Like, that's what they live for. They're not even there for the fight. Like they fight for the after party because like, if you want to see like what it's like to be living on the razor's edge, like with a fireball behind your tail, go to those after parties. Because I remember going to those after parties and they're insane. Like, but the thing is like after I did it once or twice and I was like 24, 25, I was kind of like I don't know, like I'm the kind of person that like after I experience something, if it starts getting repetitious and it's the same thing, standing there with your cup, drinking, talking, making out with girls, hanging out, like if it's the same thing over and over again, I'm kind of like, okay, I get it. Like I get it. Like, what are we gonna do this time that's different? Nothing. I'd rather spend time with like the people that are closest to me, the people that I love, the people that supported me, like, and like I spend that time with my family because like family's first.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right. I got something.
And so cheesing out like with the guys, like it's cool, but like I don't know, there comes a point in your life where you're kind of like Chuck E. Cheese isn't cool anymore. You know?
No, I feel you. It took me a long time to get to that point with Chuck E. Cheese, but yes, I relate.
I believe it.
So, Sam, I've been wondering that how it could still be that the entire first cast of Tough has not been put into the UFC Hall of Fame yet.
It's a great question.
I just don't think it's the time. When Dana White thinks it's time, it'll happen. But I think part of the issue is just that some of the guys, I've maintained a great relationship with like Dana and the UFC because like. I'm very happy to see that they've done well. They've made a lot of money. They're succeeding. Like when people succeed, I'm incredibly happy to see them do that because like, and if I had something to do with that, like I get excited for it. But like, I think a lot of the guys have entitlement issues where like they believe that they're owed something because I'm like, wait a second, guys. You guys signed a contract. You know, like Nate Quarry and these idiots that are trying to like sue the UFC. I'm like, wait a second. You signed a contract. You agreed to these terms. And now that they're successful, you want to go like think that you're going to take something, like you're owed something from that? Like, shouldn't you be happy for them? Shouldn't you be like grateful and just be like, you know, enjoying the fact that your friends are doing well instead of like, you know what, I'm going to go sue you and take you to court and try to take money from you because I feel like I'm owed. Like, where does that come from, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so like when I see Dana White and the Jet and I see the Fertittas doing good, like I'm happy for them. I'm like, dude, that's great. Like, because the other side of the equation is like, had these guys gone down like another 40 million, would you be there like trying to like help them pay that off?
Right.
You know, like it's so gross, you know,
That's
it's
a
like,
great point.
Like, you know, it's like, dude, Nate, you're not, and these guys are trying to sue the UFC. Like, you're not entitled to that. You realize that you didn't put the risk up there. Yes, you were a part of it, but you signed an agreement. Stick to your agreement. Be a man. Don't be a coward piece of crap, you know?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah. What was your favorite fight in your career?
Oh my God, my favorite fight? Probably the fight I had with Stephan Bonner.
Bonner, yeah, I was gonna say that had to been.
Oh my God, dude, that guy was like being put inside of like a dryer. You're like do. I'm telling you, like that was a war. Oh my God. And like there were different opportunities. Like I remember trying to catch him in a Kimura, and then like at the end of the final round, I had him in a knee bar, and I'm going for it, ding, 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 and they broke it up. I'm like, oh my God, we were in the pocket swinging. Yeah. And that's when Bonner was like, you know, lifting weights and all big and whatnot. And he was like, man, we were sitting in the pocket throwing bombs at each other. Oh my God, that was a war. You know?
I wish you had another 40 seconds for that knee bar.
I mean, it is what it. I mean, like as a fighter, like if you're a real fighter, I say this to fighters too. Like if you're a real fighter, like, you know, if you're talking to the fans, you'll make all kinds of excuses and tell stories and make BS up. But like, really at your core, if you're a fighter, whether you win or lose, like you don't complain about it because you live by the sword.
You got it. No, that was
then
just
you
that
have,
thing.
then,
Was
I mean,
in
you
there.
accept. I mean, you're just like. I mean, it's like okay, that's part of the experience. You know, that's part of what you're capturing. You know, it's like yes, you're going out there for the win because obviously you want to survive and you want to finish them. You know, you want to put them away. But I mean, at the same time, it's like deep down inside, like you can't be feeling, you know, some way or another about a decision because like, dude, you want to go in there and win. And like, look, if it didn't go your way. Like inside, you shouldn't ever really complain. You shouldn't be like, well, it should have gone this way, because that's not dealing with reality. You know, that's dealing with like fantasy BS. You know.
For sure, 100.
Now, if you're in front of the fans and you got the mic, then yeah, you're like, man, he's a wuss. That didn't hurt, man. He punches like a sponge, and like you know, like. You say whatever you need to say to kind of like rile everybody up in order for them to want to see you fight again. But I mean, like,
for sure.
Realistically, like whether you win or lose, you don't complain because I mean, you're happy to do it. You know, like that's what you live for. You know.
Well, we're seriously like in the last minute here. So Sam, you're a legend, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, dude, thank you so much for having me. Hey guys, check
Sam.
out my working out. I'm on Instagram, Sam E. Hoger. Look me up on Facebook. I'm going to be posting workouts. I'm going to be building my website out, the Get the Goodness website, which is going to be a website where you're going to be able to work out, train, have a good time. Check out my music. My artist name is
Diesel Wallace.
Diesel Walker.
Diesel
Go
Walker.
to Google and tell Google
Walker.
Tell Google
right, thank
to
you,
play
sir.
Señorita by Diesel Walker so you can hear my Spanish verse in there. Like I'm coming out with music here pretty soon. I hope you guys really like it. I'm doing hip hop. I'm doing reggaeton. And I'm building this up, and I think it's going to be great. What's up to everybody in Panama? All of my teammates at Militich. I appreciate everything you've done. Tom Okamoto, Pat Militich, Fatima Hoger, Sam Hoger. I ask everybody to like, please, like, you know, wear your mask and take your precautions with Corona. My father's in the hospital right now. Please pray for him. I hope he gets better. And what else? Yeah, guys. I'm really, I really think this is a great time. I really enjoyed being on your show.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, have you back, man.
Yeah,
Good
definitely
stuff.
have you back. Yeah.
Good to see you again.